we're here. We just wrapped up like kind of a short seminar. Some things that you said tonight checked my ego in a pretty aggressive way. So you talked about like internally we're sort of like the alien at the control sticks of our body. And
that might be a me thing, by the way. I don't think that was in a book,
but here's what was helpful, right? So then there's a question. My wife actually asked a question about coaching, how to coach kids. She didn't use right language, but I instantly was connecting
with the kids.
Yeah, what I do, where it's like when like in a match, obviously based on stuff that we've been learning. I don't coach by saying defend a triangle. I'm really, really specific with kids and adults too. Left hand, grab the right lapel. You know what I mean? And I'll be very specific and with a really pretty high success rate actually with those kids responding. Because it's really clear and it's like, and you'll see them struggling and all of a sudden their brain will click on with what we've been drilling, things we've been practicing. Yeah. And they'll start connecting.
Totally.
And your comment was, well, now you as the coach are the one sitting at the joystick.
Yeah, you're trying to port in and be their alien.
Yes, and I was like, you said that, and I was like, oh crap. That's what makes me feel good as a coach.
And it works. Oh, like it's a huge ego killer.
That's what I'm saying, it's my ego.
I have the answers. Yeah.
But here's the thing though, because you do see success, there's good feedback, because then the kid wins, or the person wins, or the parents are like, oh wow, you're good coaching. And sometimes the kids or the adults will walk away learning that lesson and own it themselves. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they won't. And you'll have to continue to coach with the same specificity for them to continue to win that way. If you're and this is what happens is we'll be at a tournament and I can't coach every kid. We'll have some of these tournaments, there's like 10 kids competing all at the same time. So we have like a bunch of different coaches there, and the kids that I'm at, the parents are fighting to have me coaching their kid versus a couple of other assistant coaches. Yeah. Now, if this is you out there and you're watching this video, I'm not calling any names.
We love all the kids.
We
support all of them.
This is normal. If I was the parent, I would actually be feeling the same pressure, and not even because I think another coach would do worse. It's more of just like the sense of safety with the main coach, coaching the kids.
And it is awesome for us.
Oh, it is.
Of like, I helped him. Win where he probably would have lost.
Yes. However, our actual goal is for the person to self-discover so they can self-own.
Correct.
Which is the term you guys are calling the self-organization. Yeah. Now, I think what was really helpful about that for me was that ultimately, if our goal is that the students are able to perform well and own it themselves, there's going to be less situations that they don't know what to do in. And they're going to develop a sense of trust in their ability to problem solve. And this is something I've fought to get my students to have. Yeah. I talk about it all the time. Yeah. I teach techniques in context. I try really hard. This is how you're going to get them. This is the environment that we're working in, but it's still the verbal piece versus accomplishing those things in the sort of game or the task that I'm constructing for them to discover that in. Yeah. I think that to me was like, I'm actually closer to the eco approach, but my methodology is through the verbal teaching.
Totally. Yeah.
I think that was like a massive light bulb tonight for me.
I think if everyone can do a better job of defining and then sticking to what the purpose of all of this is. Yeah. Like, is it to get better at performing jiu-jitsu? Yeah. Or is it something else? Is it about self-discipline? Yeah. It's great. I made a weird face there. Like, I shouldn't have. That's a real thing, right? Of consistency of some people are here instead of the bar. Like, there's lots of stuff going on. But as a coach, porting in and be like, oh, I'm gonna be the alien. That's great. But I've always tried to define it as the point is to help everyone get better at jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And so taking yourself off the pedestal and your point is to guide them through self-exploration. Yeah. It is a correct way, not the correct way. Yeah. Because it works and it doesn't lead to a higher injury rate, then you just have to get out of the way and let it happen.
And I like those boundaries, right? That if it's working and it doesn't lead to injury, or it doesn't put them in an environment where they're injury prone, you let it happen. Yeah. I'm gonna sidestep for just a second because I think what really makes sense to me in my head is to see ideas broadly. I'm always looking for like principles that are like applicable in all areas of life, if that makes sense.
So Zika.
One of the things, I know, one of the things that I've been doing, we teach parenting classes and we do that and stuff, and we have for a long time, and we've used, originally the material is from this thing called Parenting with Love and Logic, which is all choice-based parenting, essentially. And it's built around the idea that your ultimate goal as a parent is for your child to have self-control, that they control themselves. They make choices and they understand that every choice has good consequences and bad consequences. And ultimately, you're teaching them how to self-govern.
Yeah.
And the more I lecture, the more they're convinced they can't problem solve themselves.
100%.
The more that my teaching or my instruction comes from the lecture versus from the consequences, they're always saying, let the consequences do the teaching. So like as little kids, you give two choices that work for you, constraints.
Sure.
Okay, constraints that are going to set up the framework for their learning. And if they're in an environment where they're about to make a poor choice that is not life-threatening, that doesn't put them in the hospital, you allow it to happen and allow the consequences to teach them in that environment. And so it's like you're describing this thing and I'm like, holy crap, I've been doing parenting this way for the last, I mean, my oldest son is 16. I used it when I worked in a group home. I worked in a really, really intense level group home in California for a year. I used it I never had a single conflict when I was there. I used it as a bouncer, actually, with like dealing with people. In 3 years of bouncing, I think I only physically took someone out 2 or 3 times.
Sure, like telling people what to do in jiu-jitsu can be fun, but in like real life, it's like, no.
Dude, it doesn't work.
You're like, these are the constraints, these are the options.
And
how do you want to organize it?
You make your choice. Here's a couple
I
choices.
don't want to put too much, I'm a parent. I don't want to like put too much, this is how I parent. Everyone chooses their own thing.
And it is, for sure that like, absolutely. But the
pattern matching is really eye-opening, 100%.
It's the idea of, wait a second. What my goal is that what defines a successful adult is that they can self-control their self-autonomy and they're making what we would term as successful choices, meaning that, if you look at it psychologically, ways this stable marriage, stable job, they can own a home or provide in that sense. They are in an environment where they can also pursue dreams and sort of self-actualize, these like sort of components. It's all rooted on their level and their confidence and their ability to navigate choices. And so, but what you're describing with the constraints-based learning is actually, it's the same principle, but around a specific task or skill set that's physical, that also feels very confusing, just like life does. Like I always sit down with people all the time and they're like, I don't know how to make this decision, I don't know what to do. But it's the exact same anxiety people have when they're like, I don't know how to pass their guard. I don't know how to get out of this situation. I don't know how to get out of an arm bar. I don't know what to do. I've fought so hard for people to own what they're learning and to like actually like understand like, no, we have to apply this. But the class is split in half. I mean, it's like there's like a smaller portion of that and a larger portion of learning the technique and then practicing it with a compliant partner. So the actual time frame for them to learn those things is significantly less than like what we did tonight,
Seems like the data seems to show that this is faster and stickier.
Which is crazy. So, okay, so you made the comment, I think people start teaching jiu-jitsu too quickly.
This is outside eco, this is like on my Reddit black belt post in 2015. I was like, this is who I am, this is where I came from, also this is the thing I care about the most. Everyone's teaching too early. I started teaching too early. And just like, you just start learning, when you see something, you memorize it so you can pair it again later.
So this is what's crazy. So I started helping with kids classes just to help subsidize the cost at the time. A bunch of kids training, that kind of thing. And I just was supporting on the mat. I wasn't teaching the classes. Then I started, me and the other guy, were kind of teaching like the little kids classes and stuff. But it was all the Gracie games. It was all these game-based things. So it was less of the pedestal sort of, I know all the techniques and stuff. Because I didn't, I was blue belt at the time, purple belt at the time. We moved here. I was a purple belt for a long time due to injury and moving, changing gyms, all of that kind of stuff. When we opened this gym, it was shortly before I got my brown belt, so I still technically was a purple belt. And we got it because I wanted my kids to have just more opportunities to train. There wasn't a lot of kids programs in the area. When I think back at the way that I taught in that season of those first couple of years, there was way more learning through live drills than there was. The more advanced I got and the more confident I got in my skills and my ability to communicate and my confidence in my technique.
Yeah.
Which is like, at that time frame, people would drop into my gym all the time and be like, these guys are savages. Like, this is crazy. And it's like you guys just drill hard all the time. It's like, no, it's a constant like active drill. We're gonna work on passing drills, and it's the concepts. And I would teach concepts at the time because I didn't know necessarily all the details, but the concepts I can communicate around, under, over, through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like control the feet, control the knees, control the hips. So it's like, and there's some drills I knew, some specific techniques I knew, so we'd focus on it. But it's just fascinating that like my own fear of coming across like I knew so much at that time frame actually set up my teaching in a slightly better.
And it's like,
you know what I mean? I'm like, you're saying this, I'm like,
is the point of this period, like, do you want me to tell you that you were teaching too early or you were not teaching too early? It's like, no, you did it different. It's just, I think that's one of the important things in like all these debates is that like, we have to recognize that almost everybody is doing the best they can. Same with parenting. Like, you're not trying to make, you could find the outliers, but like, no one's trying to make bad kids. That's why I like this approach, because it's like, if there was evidence that something was better, we'd do that.
So what are the things?
And so like I think that connects a lot to like, I didn't have the confidence in memorizing the 11-step techniques and being able to like recall them and like be like, oh, your step 8 is wrong or whatever.
And I didn't want to say it like I knew it when I didn't know it.
Totally.
I wanted to be authentic in what we were teaching and what we were practicing. You know, my own like fear of being something that I wasn't, at the time. What's the significant difference between someone or a school that is doing positional sparring, or what would maybe be traditional positional sparring, and a constraints-based game? Because it seems in some contexts that they would be the same. And I think the argument for people that teach traditional is that it is the same. Like, we teach a technique, we work on it, but we're doing a constraints-based game. We're playing a guard drill from close guard, from half guard, mount escape, whatever,
I think from where I am in my journey of growing as a coach, like same thing. Like we're both just trying to do the best we can. I think this approach allows me to do the best I can. That's why I connect to it. So like the jargon I'm about to drop is not something I own or completely understand, right? But like, I think it's just way more work being a great constraints-led approach style coach than just like, here's the curriculum, just parrot it, do it. I'm gonna go sit on the sideline and text. Like, that's not us, but we know who it is, right? Versus like I'm rounding around to the difference between how I would define what I think positional sparring is and games or tasks within the constraints-led approach is that it's still coaching is a deep skill. You're meshing your knowledge about and the knowledge of and this skill of coaching to help like find the right way to connect to everyone to let them succeed. And so when you're designing a game, even if it starts from a like half guard, positional sparring is like we start from a half guard and we're playing Jiu-Jitsu Go. It's like cool. Like,
even if you're doing sweep pass submit, it's like we do that a lot.
Totally.
It's still everything.
And like it doesn't knock people out of the traditional mindset of like the alien in the brain pulling the lever. So like which technique am I supposed to use? I think when you're designing task-based games with constraints, you are using it a lot of times to destabilize an action you're already seeing. Like one of the students was just asking me like, I'm passing, I'm getting in leg locks a lot, this is what I'm doing. Like I could just tell him not to put his foot there, but like if you can create games that makes him putting his foot there not work or be farther away, or like there's a lot that you can change them, you can change the ground,
that's way harder than just being like, don't put your foot there.
Totally. And we not know, but there's data that one of them works better. And so like, are you gonna eat it? They're going to just grow up and be like, what's the point?
You want
is it to help them get better?
Just be like, just don't put your foot there. The problem is they will continue to put their foot there until it really bites them in the butt and they lose a tournament because they put their foot there.
They will eventually, again,
or in that sort of zone.
Like maybe I'm not saying the science right, maybe this isn't the right way, but like when it gets solved on its own like that, I believe it is understood to be in like an ecological moment where they are self-organizing a new solution based on the perception action coupling that is in live training somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not specifically because you told them not to put their foot there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might nudge them to like have that be one of the affordances, one of the options they can take. And like there's not no instruction in CLA, that's silly.
Yeah.
But just like to design the like destabilization where the constraints are, where the walls of the maze are, to be like, I want you to pin both their knees to the mat and not drop to your knees.
Yeah.
And not let them entangle you, like however you're gonna, like it's just, it's tough.
So, okay.
It's more difficult and you have to be really comfortable calling time and being like, cool, this isn't working. Let's go to the next thing.
It's not solving the problem, we're not getting there.
I'm not seeing the change that I want to.
Yeah.
Which is different than starting them from a specific spot and being like, play jiu-jitsu.
Yes, exactly.
How I'd circle back to say like, those are the differences.